The movie begins and we see Rhea, who is riding her giant pet tuk-tuk. In the narration, she tells the story of her homeland. 500 years prior, Kumendra was a prosperous land. There even were dragons with magical powers living among the people. One day, evil spirits called the Droon began to ravage everything. They absorbed souls, turning those into stone. Eventually, the dragons of Kumendra used what was left of their magic to create an orb that not only warded off the Droon but also restored everyone to live, with the exception of the dragons who remained turned to stone. The dragons entrusted the orb to their younger sibling Sisu. But the people all wanted the power of the orb, which ultimately divided them into tribes based on their placement of a giant river made to resemble a dragon. Fang, heart, tail, spine, and talon. Heart tribe acquired the orb and has been guarding it ever since. 500 years later, we Rhea entering the temple where the orb is kept. She successfully ditches all the booby traps, and when she reaches the place where the orb is kept, she sees an adversary guarding the gem. She gets into a fight with him until it is revealed it is her father, Chief Benga. It appears that Chief Benga of the Heart tribe has been training his daughter Rhea to guard the orb. Despite this, he still believes that all the nations will set aside their differences and become Kumendra again. He resolves to invite all the nations over for a feast, and requests everyone to resolve their difference so that can all restore Kumendra the way it once was. At the feast, Rhea ends up befriending the daughter of Chief Varana of the Fang tribe, Namari, due to their shared interest in dragons. Namari gives Rhea a dragon pendant that looked like Sisu, and she, in turn, shows her the location of the orb. However, Namari betrays Rhea, and soon the Fang tribe attempt to steal the orb. The rest of the tribes find out and a fight breaks out. Chief Benga tries to keep them all calm, but the fighting continues, resulting in the orb falling down and smashing to pieces. The Droon suddenly reawaken as each of the tribes steal a piece. Benga escapes with her daughter Rhea taking a piece of the orb. As they were running, Benga notices that Droon are repelled by water. Knowing that the Droon are getting closer, Benga gives the piece of the orb to Rhea and tells her to get to safety. Rhea tries to rescue Benga, but he tells her to flee with the piece she has as he turns to stone. 6 years later, we see Rhea, who is all grown up and making her way to the Tail Land with her pet tuk-tuk. She has been looking for other gem pieces for the past few years, but to no avail. Here we get to know that Rhea has been searching for the end of a stream to summon Sisu, the dragon who supposedly created the orb and the only surviving member of the species, to help her recover the missing orb pieces. She ends up in what is left of the desert-like Tail tribe and comes across a trail of water leading into a crashed ship. Rhea follows the water, and when she goes inside she starts calling Sisu, begging and crying to her to come for help. After some time, she notices that the water around her has begun to float until she manages to summon Sisu. Rhea then explains to her that she has been sleeping for the past 500 years. Her siblings are gone and the dragon gem is broken. After hearing the story, Sisu is dismayed and admits that she did not create the orb and that her older siblings did. She tells Rhea that her siblings only entrusted her to use its magic. Rhea then gives Sisu her piece of the gem, and as she holds it her body begins to glow. She tells Rhea that this is the magic of her sister Amber. So, Sisu finds that she can use their powers when she holds onto a piece. On the other hand, we see Namari following Rhea as she knows that Rhea is looking for gem pieces. Sisu agrees to help Rhea, and they make their way to the cave where the Tail Chief had kept her piece of the gem. When they enter the cave they discover the skeleton of the Tail Chief, who is still holding onto her piece of the gem, but it appears that she died falling victim to her own booby traps. So, they recover the second piece, with Sisu now gaining the ability to turn into a human, which is the magic of her shape-shifting sister Prani. However, suddenly they encounter Namari and her tribe, but the two of them manage to escape on a boat driven by a 10-year-old boy named Bound, who had lost his family to the Droon. Despite Bound being friendly, Rhea refuses to divulge that Sisu is a dragon, nor tell him of her quest, confusing Sisu. While talking at night, Sisu tells them that the Droon are born from human discord and are the opposite of what dragons stand for. Then, they arrive at the Talon tribe, who have built their homes over the water to protect themselves against the Droon, as Rhea tries to find their leader so that she can reclaim the orb piece. While out in the town, Rhea encounters a Khan baby named Little Noi and her trio of monkey-like companions, the Ankh, who adopted her after her mother was lost to the Droon. After a chase, they give Rhea back the gem pieces. Then, when she realizes that they have no home to go to, Rhea decides to hire them to help her. Sisu goes into town to look for a gift, as she thinks it is better than fighting, only to run into the real tribe leader who threatens her. On the other hand, Rhea comes to know that the chief has long been turned to stone by the Droon and there is a new chief now. This is when Rhea realizes that Sisu is in trouble. She rescues her and reclaims the piece, which allows Sisu to make smoke clouds to distract everyone and make it back to Bound with Noi and the Ongis joining them. Namari returns to the Fang tribe to report to Virna that she plans to spy on Rhea as she reaches the Spine tribe, and they will ambush her before she gets the next piece. On the other hand, while on their way, Rhea tells Sisu how her father trusted the tribes to reunite. Then, Sisu says that trust is the most important thing because of all the dragons her siblings only trusted her to save the world. Then, the group arrives at the Spine tribe with Rhea, and Sisu attempting to enter the village. Sisu tries to get to the village using her kindness, but instead, they are caught by the sole survivor of the tribe, a fearsome warrior named Tong, who does not know what to do with them. Sisu and Rhea then catch Tong and tie him up before retrieving the gem piece he had. After that, the rest of the group arrives to warn them of Namari's arrival. Rhea then decides to let Tong go, realizing that he is just as long as the others. Then, Rhea holds Namari off in a fight while the others escape. However, Sisu reverts to her dragon form and fends off Namari and the Fang tribe. Before leaving, Namari is moved by the appearance of Sisu. She returns to Varana to tell her, but she instead demands that she reclaim the pieces and the dragon, as she fears that the other tribes will try to take what they have. Back at the boat, Rhea finally comes clean to her party about Sisu, and they agree to work together, with Tong giving the orb piece he had been guarding and allowing Sisu to gain the ability to summon the rains. After that, they make a plan to get into the Fang tribe and retrieve the last piece successfully. As they get close to the Fang tribe, Rhea suggests breaking in to reclaim the final piece, but Sisu suggests giving them a gift and asking for it back. When Rhea refuses, Sisu takes her back to what is left of the Heart tribe and reveals the fate of her sibling. While Sisu did not create the orb, her siblings trusted her enough to do the right thing with it. They also find Begaz's stone body, and Rhea gives in and decides to give Namari the dragon pendant as a peace offering so that she can rejoin the rest of the orb pieces. Rhea and Sisu meet privately with Namari, and Namari presents her gem piece to them, but as soon as she shows the remainder of the orb pieces, Namari holds a crossbow to them. Sisu tries to talk her down, but Rhea, sensing that Namari will shoot, attacks her, causing Sisu to get hit by the arrow and falls into a river. Namari flees as the water, which protected the Fang tribe against the Droon, begins to recede. Following the chaos, Namari runs back to the temple only to find out that Virna has already been turned to stone. The Fang tribe is attacked by the Droon as Rhea enters to confront Namari, who is grieving Varana's fate at the hands of the Droon. The two fight while Tong, Baun, Noi, and the Ongis rescue the people from the Droon. Rhea prepares to strike down Namari, but she tells her that she has lost everything and does not care anymore. They all fall down a hole and see that the magic of the gems have started to fade. Then, Rhea comes to her senses and goes to help her friends. Namari in turn helps the group using her orb piece. As the pieces start losing power, the Droon come closer to them until they are surrounded by the Droon. Rhea then remembers Sisu's words and realizes that the only way to stop this is through trust. She decides that Namari must be the one to untie all the pieces. Rhea tells them that they need to put the pieces together, but her friends refuse to help Namari. To show her faith, Rhea puts her piece down to give it to Namari and allows the Droon to take her. One by one, the rest follow, with Namari putting the pieces together and getting consumed by the Droon afterward. Then, as everyone has turned to stone, Namari makes the final move by putting all the pieces together and turning into a stone herself. For a moment it seemed like the world has ended until a flash of light burst across the land, destroying the Droon with it. The plan works and the Droon are vanquished as everyone is brought back to life. The dragons are all brought back to life as they revive Sisu, who thanks Rhea for trusting others. Everyone returns to their significant others as Rhea returns home to be reunited with Benka. She introduces him to Sisu as all the tribes come together peacefully to celebrate. This is where the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.